If you're in real estate, you've probably heard this a million times. Stay in touch with your clients. But how often do you really do that? Today, I'm going to be sharing why staying in touch with your database is the key to long-term success and how you can build stronger relationships with your clients and your community. I recently did a poll in my Instagram story that over 300 agents responded to, and the question I wanted to know is where was the source of their last 3 deals? And do you know what the highest lead source was? Referrals from their sphere and referrals from past clients. That is the number one source. Not YouTube, not Facebook ads, not Instagram, not any of these other sources that we can use in our marketing. It was from people who already know them that were sending them business. And if you're anything like me, we all suffer from bright, shiny object syndrome. I might suffer a little bit extra. I'm always looking, going, oh, I could do that to get more business, or I could do this to get more business. But really where your focus should lie is nurturing your database. I'm not saying you shouldn't have other sources of leads, but it sure is a lot easier and a lot more fun to nurture your database, pour into those people who already know, like, and trust you to continue growing your business. Did you know that the top 10% of realtors have a retention rate that's 4 times higher than other agents in their market? Let that sink in, 4 times higher. This means that they are doing a really good job of keeping in touch with the people they already know and have worked with. And it also means that their clients are coming back time and time again to work with them. Instead of chasing new leads, what if you focused on nurturing the leads that you already have? If you aren't sure where to start, today I am sharing my foolproof retention strategy. First is everyone in your database. Every single client you have ever worked with and want to work with again needs to be in your database, and I would take it a step further. Anyone that you have ever had a substantial conversation with or have an ongoing relationship needs to be in your database. Next is automated follow-up. This is where a service like Mailbox Power comes in. That's what I personally use. You can use send out cards, you can use Dare & Co. There's lots of options out there, but having that automated follow-up for home anniversaries, for home maintenance that is specialized to the type of property that they're in, possibly even birthday cards. I'm getting ready to automate those next year. I'm currently handwriting them and it's just taking a little too long. Whatever it is that you are wanting to stay in touch with them about, if you can automate it, do that. Don't lose the personal touch. Make sure that it's a service that is going to be putting out a product that you are comfortable with, whether it's in the form of a greeting card, a postcard, or possibly a little gift. But you can absolutely automate anything like that. You also want to make sure that you have some type of automated follow-up after they close. You don't want to just close a transaction and then never check in with them or touch base with them. And a great way to do that is some type of automated email sequence. Personally, I use Flowdesk for that, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. Number 3 is checking in on them. And I don't mean in an awkward way of, hey, just checking in. That is not how to do it. You want to be genuine about it. How I typically approach it is if I am in their neighborhood meeting other clients, or maybe I just drove past and thought about them, I'll shoot them a text and let them know I was nearby and I just wanted to say hi and see how they're doing. The other thing that I'll do, if I see a home that recently sold in their neighborhood, I will reach out and say, hey, did you see what this house sold for? In our case, it's always higher than what my clients have purchased for, even in the last 3 or 4 months. And it's a great value add because everybody likes to know what's happening in their neighborhood, and you're reaching out with a piece of valuable information and just saying, hey, did you see that this house recently sold? Number 4 is a monthly email newsletter. And personally, monthly is the cadence that works for me and achieves me anywhere from 75 to an 85% open rate. You kind of have to watch and test initially to see what's going to be best for your audience. If more is going to be better, I know Ricky Carruth does a weekly email. That's not something that I personally could keep up, and I know my database doesn't want to hear from me that often, but you've got to test it a little bit. No generic tips, no cut and paste type of emails. I use Flowdesk for this. You can do a bunch of different designs. There's so many different layouts, templates, text. You can really customize this. And I get pretty personal in my email newsletter. It's something that allows me to connect with them on a real estate level, but also on a personal level. Last month, I sent out an email sharing my personal journey of upsizing and giving up a 2.25% interest rate and happily going to a 5.99% interest rate. I'm going to talk more about this next week. It landed me so many responses, and I have now put almost $2 million worth of business under contract from that one email. I was just sharing my personal story with them, and that's what really connects with your audience. So if you're going to do a monthly email newsletter, you've got to know that it can't just be canned and generic. You have to come from a place of wanting to share a story with them and getting personal. Number 5 is giveaways. This is probably my favorite thing to do for my clients. I also do these via email, and I do it about once a quarter. Sometimes I do a little extra because it's just a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I try to incorporate it into thanking them for their support and being a part of my world by giving away maybe some free Starbucks. You can check out my video on that if that's something you want to do. Or you can also wrap it into something personal. I recently turned 40, so I let them know I'm turning 40, but the gifts are for them. And we had 87 entries. The giveaways were $40 gift cards to a few of my local favorite spots here in Northern Virginia. Very simple, huge response, and a great way to connect. You don't have to spend a ton of money doing this. It's just a way to do something fun for them, also supporting local businesses in your area, and it's a great way to keep in touch. Who doesn't like free stuff? By the way, that giveaway also got me 2 responses from 2 different clients that I didn't know they were thinking about moving. One of them is going to be listing in the spring. I already signed the listing agreement. The other is thinking about moving next year and upsizing, and we're in conversation now. Combined for those 2, it's close to $4 million in business. This is not rocket science. It is simply about staying in touch with your sphere and letting them know that welcome them into your world, share a little about yourself, love on them with giveaways, and just stay in touch. Number 6 is educational events, or in my case, an event. I do this once per year. I do it on Zoom. It tends to have a better response. I've done it both in person and on Zoom, and Zoom is a better response rate, at least in my market. And what I do is bring in some other type of professional that's also related to real estate. So a tax professional, an estate planner, something in that realm to be able to provide extra value for them. I just recently did one where I brought in one of my favorite loan officers, and he went through examples in various cities in Northern Virginia to show my audience the cost of waiting. And we shared this event with them so that they could sign up. We let them vote on what time was going to be best for them, and we went with the majority vote. And what he did was simply share what's happening in the local market here for those that are maybe on the fence. There's a lot of buyers on the fence right now, and at least in this market, waiting doesn't make sense. So these were real life examples that he went through to show them, well, waiting probably is not the best idea. And then if they had questions about their personal situation, they were able to reach out to him directly and have a private conversation. It's truly just coming from a place of value. You have to know who is in your database and what problems they have so that you can offer something that they're going to be interested in. And I try to do it for who it's going to appeal to in terms of the majority. Of course, not everyone is in the same situation, but in my case, I have a lot of first-time home buyers who are looking to upsize. And I also have a lot of people who are thinking about upsizing. Maybe they are already in their second or their third home, but they're thinking about upsizing to their dream home, but they've put it on hold. So having a cost of waiting example with a loan officer is something that was valuable to them. And we had 67 attendees in this Zoom call. Number 7 is being a part of their lives. And there's so many different ways that you can do this. A couple things that I do is really pay attention daily on social media to see if they're celebrating something, if they're going through something hard. And I take that opportunity to either send them a text. If we're really close, I'll call. Most of my clients don't like being called though, which I can completely respect. Or I'll send a card or maybe a little gift. It is something that I look at as I would a friendship. Any of my friendships, I would reach out if I saw something was going on in their lives, good or bad. And I treat my clients the same way. The other thing that I pay close attention to is if they're involved in any causes, I absolutely love to be able to give back, whether that's in the form of a donation or my time. I'm always happy to volunteer to be a part of something that they enjoy too. It's just about connecting with them. I'm also big on inviting clients to a coffee date, happy hour, or lunch. I don't typically do dinners because it's a little out of the budget for me. But it's simply about nurturing the relationship. It's not about real estate whatsoever. It is about having conversations with them and staying involved in their lives. If they just had a baby, acknowledge that. Maybe they got engaged. Maybe somebody's off to college. There are so many life events, and yes, some of them are sad, but I reach out even when it's something sad. I will definitely send a card. I've had clients lose spouses over the years, and I always reach out and let them know that I'm there for them if they need anything, maybe drop a meal off to them. Just nurture the relationship. Be a human. I think in real estate, we get so caught up in generating new business. We don't stop to look around to see that we should also be nurturing and pouring into the people who already know, like, and trust us. They are absolute gold. Relationships are gold. It is what's going to fuel your business. And it's certainly what I've built my business off of. And I definitely am guilty of that bright, shiny object syndrome. But try not to do that. If you are focused on nurturing the people that you have already worked with and have a relationship with, you will continue to get referrals. Thanks for watching. And as always, feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need advice. I'll see you on the next one.